So we have already learned about use state and the other hooks in React, like how hooks actually gives us the capabilities of class components in functional components. Now what we want to do in here is we want to learn about use effect hook. So before even learning use effect, we'll just quickly see what our use state hook does. So in a functional component, as we have already learned that there is no traditional way of keeping any state in functional components. So that's why we needed a hook, that is use state. So by using use state, we can create a state variable inside a functional component, and that state variable can be updated using the set method. So how many states that you create, for each there will be a set function that will be created along with that, by calling which with a new value will update the state in here. Now what we'll do in here is we'll just check out this particular example we have done in the last session. So in this session I'll just do a quick recap how it works. So as we increment it, it increments; as we decrement it, it decrements as we click on this. So as you see in the code in here, what is happening, we have two states. One state is initialized by 0, so whatever you put in the use state function in the initial phase, that gets to be the default or initial value for this count. And as we click on that increment count, it gets to update it by 1. Okay, so it increments every time I click on that. Similarly, reverse count is there, which is initialized by 100, and as you click on it, it will decrease value by 1 every time. So that's all. Okay, so that's all is about our use state hook. Now what we'll learn is about use effect hook. So use effect, I'll just quickly import it in here. Now what use effect does is, use state gives us the capabilities of creeping or creating states in functional components. Now another thing which makes functional component very distinct from class component is lifecycle methods. So there is no lifecycle method existing in functional components. So that's why in order to create lifecycle methods in functional component, we can use effect. So use effect is a combination of component did mount, component did update, and component will unmount. Okay, so these three things, three life cycles together, it is created in here as use effect. So use effect is like a function in which you need to pass a callback function, and this callback function will be invoked every time there is any update to the component. This particular method will be invoked. So say for example, I just put as console log update. So update can be like first mount, whenever it gets mounted, then whenever it gets updated, and whenever there is any unmount happening. Okay, so if you see here, I'll just open my console. So console is open. Now I'll just quickly reload it. Okay, console is there. See, first reload update is printed because it got mounted, so that's why. Now if I click on this, so this state is updating, that means the full component is updating. That's why again update is stated in here. Then if I click on this, then again it happens. So that means whenever any update happens in this component, it gets fired in here. Now what we can do by using that is, very simple example would be to update this particular title whenever anything is changing. Okay, so what we can do in here is document dot title equal to, what we'll do is basically we'll keep both the counters values in here. Increment, let me just put incr equal to count, and decr equal to reverse count. Okay, so that's all. So document.title is this, every time it gets updated, it will update this particular thing as well, this title as well. So I'll just reload it. So right now it is increment is 0, decrement is 100. Now if I click on this, see, this thing is also getting updated. So any updates to this component will fire this changes as well. Okay, so that means whenever there is any update, so first thing is when there is this uh, rendering happened or the mounting happened, it got run once. That's why it is initialized with the initial values 0 and 100. After that, as we update it, it gets updated as well. Okay, now as we update this gets updated. So that's why mounting to unmounting, this use effect method is called. So use effect is a combination of component did mount, then component update, and component will mount. So that is what use effect does basically. Now the thing is, another thing is, so this is what use state and use effect is. Now there is another thing that is called custom hooks. Okay, so custom hooks is a very advanced topic, so where you can create your own hooks using these two hooks basically. So maybe there can be a possible scenario where you need to do some API callings, right? And that particular hook, you can keep it in, you can create a common hook for that. So whenever you pass a particular URL, it will just do a get method and it will get the value. And that part you can keep in a hook. So that part I have already kept a file in here to just explain you, because this is a very advanced topic and most of the cases, 90% of the cases, we do not require any custom hooks. But to learn it, so this is like this. So you need to have some kind of so import that use state and use effect, and then what you need to do is, by using both the hooks, you need to create a custom hook. So all the custom hooks, for all the custom hooks, you need to have the name of that hook. So that is here use fetch. Okay, so what use fetch does is it fetches a particular URL, a particular get method it does, and it gets the value and it returns that value. So here how we are doing it, so this is just like a component definition. So use fetch equal to this one, where we need to pass a URL, and inside we have a use state. So we have a state that is called data, and inside that, whenever that component is mounted, we are using use effect to call that particular fetch URL. So we are fetching the URL from that. Okay, inside that, what we are doing is, whatever URL that is passed, so say for example a particular URL is passed, that URL is fetched, and after that we are getting the data, we are converting the data into JSON, and then we are setting the data. So we are setting this state, and after that we are putting it in here, because to pass this particular URL, whenever this particular URL comes here, we need to pass it here, right? So to do that, we are passing like this. Okay, and after the data is updated, we are just returning it. So this is a use fetch custom hook. So custom hooks are created when you need to create a hook in order to support your custom needs. In real-time projects, 90% of the time we do not require it, but sometimes if we require it, even if it is a very seldom exercise, we need to learn about it. So that's why, so custom hooks can be created by using use state and use effect, and it is same as define a component inside which there will be some value that will be passed, and you need to process it and you need to return it, as simple as that. So that is how we can create custom hooks in React. Okay, so now what we'll learn is, we learned about hooks, basically use state, use effect, and custom hooks. Now we need to learn about refs in React. Okay, so refs are very interesting things in React. If you see here, so what ref does is, basically it basically provides us an access to the component. So how does it do that? So for that, what we'll do is, say for example in the payment page only. Okay, so in the payment page only, what we'll do is, we'll create, say for example we'll see a class component, basically that would be better, but let's try with payment page only. So what we'll do is, we'll just import React first, React from React, and in the payment page we have this, right? So along with this, what we'll have is, we'll just wrap it around a div, and we'll keep another div in here. Inside that, we'll keep an input. Okay, I'll just give a beer tag in here, and here what we need to do is, we'll create, basically we'll create a ref. So const input ref equal to react dot create ref. Okay, that's all. So a ref is created. Now in order to define this ref, attach this ref with this guy. So I'll first type like this is a text, and then ref equal to input ref. So that's all. So if we do that, what happens is we get the we attach this ref with this particular input. Now if we keep a button on click, we'll just call a function like const handle click. We'll just handle this using this. So console.log, inside which we'll put the input ref dot current dot value. Okay, so this is what we do. And in on click, we'll just call this handle click function. Okay, okay, so what we are doing here is, first thing, we are creating a ref in here. So this ref is pointed here. So ref is basically reference. So this particular constant right now has a reference to this particular node itself, DOM node itself. Now using this ref, we can directly access the DOM node. So that's why what we are doing is, here we have a button. So on click of that button, we are calling this handle click. Inside handle click, we are just console logging the ref's value. So I'll just add another text in here. So I have added this text. So value equal to input ref current dot value. That's all. Handle click, when this method is called, this calls this guy. Okay, so let's see now. So what happens? So first thing is, we need to go back to our payment page. So if we go there, okay, so I need to give this value some name, right? Click name. Okay, so we have this particular input. So if I click on it and say hello, and I click, see this value hello is coming in here. So previously, as we have seen, what we are doing is, on this input, whenever we need to track any values, right? So what we used to do is, whenever this input is being changed, we were updating that value. So if I show you the previous way, how we would have done is, so whenever, say for example, I'll just copy it here. So input type text, and we'll have a on change method, basically on change method, inside which we'll be passing the event, and that event, from that event we'll be passing the, say for example, here we'll create a function again, handle change. Okay, inside that we'll just get the text, and we'll console log that. Okay, so here we'll just do the console log. So handle change will be e dot target dot value. So that's all. So input text, input type text will be there. So previously, how we used to do is, like, for all the changes, we were handling that change basically every time we did any change. So just to see how it happens is, hello, if we type, so for each change we were handling it. Okay, so it is completely a controlled input. Okay, so we are handling all the changes using this. And also what we used to do is, we used to use a state to maintain the state of that particular component. So what we used to do is, here const text and set text equal to use state. Okay, and this text will go on here, value text. Okay, and on change what we'll do is set text. So if you see now, like this it happens, but it doesn't update in here. Okay, so because we are updating this state from here on, sorry, I have done the changes in handle click basically, so I need to change it in here basically. Set text equal to text, so like that in this method. So what happens is whenever any change is happening on this input, so we are updating this text state, and this text state is as a value in here. So if I change any value, so it is updating in here, and it is also there in the state. So if you see the React, this one, right, payment page state, it is here as a state. See, it is being passed in here. Okay, but if I keep writing something here, right, like world, so that is not getting entered in here in the state, because we are not keeping this particular input in state. Rather, when I click on this, then by using the ref, we are getting the value by using this ref. So there can be two kinds of things. One is this, I'll just put, this is a uncontrolled input or uncontrolled element or component. Okay, and this guy is a controlled component. That means whatever happens in this, right, we cannot do this in here, we have to do this in here. So whatever happens in there, it is totally controlled. That means whatever change is happening, that is reflecting in the text, and that text is again the value of this. So it is re-rendering the input component. But here it is completely free-flown component. Whatever you write, it will accept, and at the end when you click on the button, it will get it from the input ref, like that. So that's why we use refs only to create uncontrolled component, where at the end of everything we need to do with value. So that is what ref is. Okay, so now what we'll do is basically so we have learned about state and effect and refs in here. So what we'll do is basically we have a small assignment here. uh, so this particular API is there basically. One API is there, catfact.ninja_fact. So what happens is whenever there is a whenever you hit this API, it will give you a fact about the cats. Okay, so now what we need to do is basically, so by clicking on the button cat fact, we'll get this particular fact. Okay, so what we need to do in here is, so to do that basically what we can do is, so say for example we'll do that in payment page, product page is there, right? So let's do it in the product page itself. Okay, so in the product page itself, what we'll do is in this one, right, in here we'll create another div. Say for example class name also I'll put cat facts. The cat facts is the class name, and here I'll put another h2 saying cat fact, and a simple button saying get new cat fact. Okay, and below will be a p paragraph on which the tag will be there. Now in order to create new facts, what we need to do is, here I will create another state which will be like cat fact, and I'll create set cat fact in here, and set use state in here. So I have created a state cat fact which will be displayed in here. Okay, as we update, whenever we want to update it, we will click on set cat fact. So let's see now how it looks like. So we go here, we go back, we go to the product page. See, cat fact is coming and we can get a new cat fact. On click of this, we need to get a new cat fact basically. I'll just add some basic stylings over here. So cat fact I'm just adding some basic stylings. Okay, and we have added a styling for this, and for this p tag also we'll add some more stylings. Okay, cat facts it is, and for this p tag also okay, and I'll just import that particular CSS in here. Okay, so this particular things looks like this. Now on click of this, we need to get a new fact. So in order to do that, what we can use is we can either use the browser's own fetch API, or we can have something called Axios package. So Axios npm package will get, and by using that only we'll be getting the data. So if you see like this, we have, so I'll just install it using npm install Axios. So I'll go here, I'll just first install this. Okay, wait, I'll install along with minus save. So that means it will add it to our dependency list as well. Okay, now it is installed. Now what we need to do is, again I'll start the server and I'll go here. Okay, it has started again. Okay, now what we need to do is this button on click, we need to define on click handle, or I'll name it as get new fact. Okay, and this get new fact, I need to define it here. Const get new fact equal to something like this. Okay, and inside that what you need to do is, I have already installed Axios, so I'll just import Axios. Okay, and this Axios I'll use in here, Axios. So in Axios, in order to get, you can just directly pass this particular URL, or if you want to see the usage, right? So we can use like this also, axios.get URL, then inside then we can have the response. So let's just see how it works. Axios.get, I'll give the URL dot then, inside then I'll have a callback method, and inside callback method let's just say hi. Okay, so in console, let's go back to console, let's click on this. See, hi is coming, but there is no data. So in order to get the data, what you need to do is, so as it gets it, it will send it here as response, and we'll just show like what response is coming. Okay, so I'll just reload it once. After that, if I click on it, see, response is coming. What response is coming? Inside responses data, we are getting a fact like this. So this fact only we need to show in here. So what we'll do is in the response data fact we need to get this. So we'll just say response dot data dot fact. Now let's see. If I click on it, see this fact is coming. Okay. So now what we'll do is we need to show that fact in cat fact. So in order to do that, we need to set this one. So we'll just use this function in here, set cat fact. Inside that we need to pass this guy. That's all. Okay. So if I click on this, see this guy is being stated in here. Now if I click again on this, then another new fact is coming. Let me just click another one. So another fact is coming. Just let me give some more CSS in here. Padding 10 pixel. Okay, so something like this is coming. So if I click on this, another fact is coming. Then I click on this, another fact is coming. So our assignment of getting a fact for cat by using this particular API is done. So how we are doing it? Again, let's go over it once again. So first thing first, whenever you have a dynamic thing that you need to keep on updating in a component, you need to use a state. So that state we have created as cat fact, and we have a method for that particular state to update, that is set cat fact. Now we have created another method, that is get new fact, so which will be used whenever we click on this particular button. Okay, so on click of this button we are calling this fact get new fact. Now to get a fact from the API we need to use Axios package. Okay, so we have installed the Axios package by using npm install Axios. Now after that we are using the Axios package like this in axios.get, then the URL of that particular API, then whatever response is coming inside that response, inside data, inside fact, the fact is there. Okay, and we are just updating that fact by using this particular set method into this cat fact. Now as this cat fact is being updated, that is updated in here as well. Now what we will do is along with this we can update this in the document title also whenever it is getting updated. So we'll just keep it here like cat fact. So that's all. So it will update the title as well whenever it gets updated. So let's see now. As you see here, it is being updated. See, this is being updated. Now if I click on this, now again this guy got updated. So that is how we can do a API call by using our React project and get the data and show it in the UI. Okay, so that is what we can do. So the next thing we can do is we'll just check what else is there in the curriculum. So we can create a to-do list application. So this you need to do. And this APIs we can create. So sorry, these APIs are already existing. What we can do is basically we can show this if you see. So the problem statement is show the top 10 ranked currencies on a page in a list. So let me see this one. Okay, so we have an API. By using this we need to show this list on a page. So we have a lot of data in here. So this also, this particular assignment also I'll do in front of you. So after that what you can do is other assignments you can do it yourself. So what is there is these are some list of top bitcoins basically. Okay, so we'll just use this data to create a beautiful UI and to load this data. Okay, so we can create another page for that. In that page only we'll show the bitcoins. Okay, So let's just create a new file which will be like bitcoins.js. Inside that we'll create again import react and use state. We need only use state for this. Okay, now okay, sorry, not bitcoins, it's cryptocurrency list equal to. So this is a component I am creating, cryptocurrency list, which will get the cryptocurrencies, top cryptocurrencies from here, and it will show all this data. So basically we'll show the rank, symbol, name, and maybe the price USD and the link for that. Okay, so that particular things we'll use it in here, and we'll create a good UI so that you get a sense like how can we create this kind of UIs by getting the data from the APIs. Okay, so we have cryptocurrency list like that. Now inside that I'll just first return a simple div saying h2 cryptocurrency list. Okay, so this is a simple thing we have. Now I need to just update it in here as well. So when I'm defining any component, the name should be inside the component, the name should be starting with the capital case. I have already told in the previous sections, and in the file it should start with the lowercase. It's a good practice basically. So I'll just get this and I'll just use this inside here in the index page to create another path basically. So I'll just import it in here from like this, and here we'll put this like route path to crypto and like this. Okay, so in the crypto path it is there. So what I'll do is basically in the home page, that is home page, I'll add another link like this, and here I'll put in as crypto. Go to crypto page. So I have another page in here in the home page, basically the crypto page. If I click on it, it goes to cryptocurrency list page. Okay, simple thing. So what I have done is basically first thing I have created another new component, functional component by name of cryptocurrency list, and that component I have imported in the index file here, and now I have added another route in here. That route path is crypto and the element is cryptocurrency list, and I have added the link to that page in the home page component by doing this. Okay, now what we need to do is inside cryptocurrency list page we will just, what will happen is whenever this component is updated, whenever this component is basically rendered, we need to do a API call and get the data and show it in here. Okay, so that's why what we have to do is const, first thing is first we need to create a state that is crypto list. Okay, and set crypto list. Okay, so that will use state. Okay, and now crypto list, what we'll do in here is if crypto list is there, then only, and crypto list dot length is greater than 0, then only we will create a on ordered list, basically ordered list inside which we will keep some LIs. Okay, inside which we will create cryptolist dot map coin li. Let's just keep it as li coin, and index we have here. For now we'll just use index in here. Later we'll put the crypto name and all, so I'm just keeping the index in here. Okay, so what we are trying to do here is we have a crypto list state, and if that state is available and the length is greater than 0, then we are doing a map function and creating a loop basically in here, just like how we have done in the earlier sessions. And that's all, and we are showing the index just right now. Now the first thing is, on the rendering of this particular component, we need to get all the data from that API, the API that we have here, right? So in order to do that, I have already told you, so we have lifecycle in here also, in functional component also. To hit the lifecycle of component did mount, right? What we need to do is we have to use state. So use state will be called whenever component did mount or component got updated, right? So what we can do is we can do a use state usage here, and in here inside that what we can do is first we can check whether crypto list is available or not. If it is not available, then we'll do a, if crypto list is not available, then we'll do a API call and update it. So why it is required? Because if we do an API call and update crypto list, then that update will make this use state to run again. Okay, so we'll explain about that later again. So if crypto list is not updated, so that is in the first phase when it is initialized with undefined only, that time do a API call and get the data and set it here. And now, use state, use effect, and this use effect used here. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to do an API call. So in order to do an API call, what we have to do is here we need to import Axios, as we have learned in the last example, right? So using Axios, what we need to do is first Axios dot get, then I'll just define the const crypto API. I'll define the API link in here, and I'll just use this here and dot then. So we'll do an API call whenever this component is updated, and if the crypto list is not there, then we'll get this data, and we'll just first of all we'll just do a console log, like how the response is coming. Okay, so we have our code ready. Now let's just run it in here. What is happening? Let's see. So I have just reloaded it, and now go to crypto page. Now see, as I go there, it is updated in here. So what is happening? Inside the data, we have another data. Inside response data, another data we have. Inside that we have a complete list. Okay, so if I just want to update that data dot data, so now if I reload it, see the list, we get the list. Now what we need to do is we need to just update it inside set crypto list. So we'll just update it by using this and response dot data. So that means we are updating it in the crypto list. So that will ensure it to create some li tags. So if I do reload again, so li tags are created. Okay. Now I'll just get the console log again back. So in the console log, if you see, so this is just created by using indexes of the arrays. So that's why you can see the first element, even though it is first, the array index starts with 0, right? So that's why it is stated as 0. Now we need to show this data in here. So what data is there? Each of these has a ID, name, price used, and rank. Okay, so it is already ordered by using ranks, so we don't need to do anything, but we can show the name. So we'll just show the name. So name is there as the name. So in coin we can use name in here. Now see, all the names are shown in here. Now if we need to show the price USD for that, so what we can do is here we can just say price coin price USD. Okay, now if we want to go to the details of that, so explorer, so that is the URL of that. So what we can see is we can keep an anchor tag in here, href, and in href what we can put is coin dot explorer. We can say like details. So now if you see, the price is there, Bitcoin is there, price is there, like that it is there. Okay, and if we click on details, it will go to the respective website. So it is blockchain, it is going to blockchain. Now if I click on this, right, it is going to Solana. So all these things it is going. So this is how we are doing the cryptocurrency list. So what we are doing in here is we are having a state, that is crypto list, and we have a set state method for that, and use effect we are using to know when the component is rendered. Now when it is rendered, right, that then also we are checking whether the crypto list is already existing or not. If we do not do this test, right, if we do not have this, what will happen is whenever crypto list is updated, then again use effect will be called, and this thing will go into a limbo or a infinite loop, so the application will crash. So that's why we need to keep this checked, and that's why if crypto list is not available, then only we'll do API call and update it. Okay, now I'll just remove the console log part. So now you can see the list is available like this. So we have used a map function in here in order to render the list, and inside which, okay, this things gets updated, inside which we have used coin.name, price, and details anchor tag to go to the details. So this is how we can do API call, an API call inside and functional component on the rendering, on the mounting of that particular component. If it is a simple class component, then you already have the lifecycle hook, that is the component did update or component did mount. So there it is not a problem, but there we do not have to do this check and all, because component did mount will be called only once. But as use effect is a combination of component did mount, component did update, and component did unmount, so that's why we need to have this check in there in order to ensure that it doesn't go into an infinite loop. Okay. So I hope that is clear right now, and that was it basically. I think I'll just check if there is anything else. So click at any one row to see the details of the currency. So okay, this is another thing we have. So these things you can create basically. These things also you can extend the project with this APIs. So if I see, so this is like this thing, I think. So details of this particular Bitcoin, and it is showing what price was there at what point of time and on what day basically. So on click of so what it is trying to do is, on click of any coin, it should show a table in which the date and the price used should be there. Okay, so that's what we can do basically. On click of any particular thing, we can show a table of that and show like what is the price and all in here. Okay. So we can do that also. I'll just that would be our last thing. We can do that and finish up this thing. So what we can do is in here only I'll create a div and I'll keep it just below this, and this is a OL. I'll just okay, class name just container, crypto container. Okay, inside that I'll have another div, crypto table. Okay, so I have a crypto table also in here. Now this crypto container, what I can do is basically, okay, I need to write another CSS file. So crypto, so I'll create a crypto container in here, and I'll just make sure that whatever is there inside that, those things are basically half, they are basically taking half of the screen space. So I'll just divide the screen space between two spaces, and I'll do so width 50% or 40% I'll put, and here what I can put is display flex justify space justify content space between, or we can put a space around, and align items flex start, so that it starts on the upper side basically. So I'll just import that file. Okay, now if you go, so I'll just add some this thing, background color to this guy. Say for example I give this black color in here. Okay, now if you see what is happening, this guy is a half and this is a half and this is a half, but there is no height in here, right? So what we can do is in here we can give a height like 100 VH. So this black portion is there and this part is there. Okay, wait. So this part is there as well as this part is there. So here what we can do is for that OL also we'll give some background, which is as e. Now you see this kind of thing is happening. Now I'll put some padding. So now it looks good, like some padding is there, and these two things looks good. Okay, now what we can do is on click of something we need to show the details of that one in here. So for doing that, right, we need to keep another state that is like const active crypto. Okay, and we'll keep another set state method as well, active crypto. So what we are trying to do is on click of any crypto, particular crypto, right, it will show the details in here along with the price list that we see in here, right? So that's what we are trying to do. So in order to do that, what we'll do is, what we'll require is on click of that we need to register an event, and we need to keep that like which is currently active, right, which is currently being clicked. So that also we need to keep. So to do that I am keeping active crypto and set active crypto in here, and I'll say like use state, and nothing is active from previously like initial state, and it will be only get activated when someone clicks on this li. And we'll just design this li also a bit so that it looks good and clickable. Okay, so I'll just give it to this guy. And OL also what we can do is basically OL also 50 pixel padding will add. So what we'll do is we'll just add this listing wala styles in here, and that's all. Okay, so this looks like this, looks good now. And we'll add some padding here, that is like 50 pixel padding we'll add. Okay, so this looks like this. Cool. Now on click of this, basically the details should come here. So what I'll do is, basically I have this active crypto. Now on click of this li items, what we need to do is basically on click we will just say handle active crypto, and this particular method I need to define in here, so I'll just create it. So on click of this, I'll just for now console log saying handle crypto, that's all. Now let's see what happens in console. So if I click on this, see handle crypto is being called. Now what we can do is we need to pass the data of this particular, whatever I am clicking, that data. So that data is there in coin, right? So we can pass this coin in here just, and that coin I can catch it from here and I can console it in here. So let's see. So if I click on this, see we are getting the data in here like this, right? So I clicked on Tether, so Tether data is coming in here. Now if I click on Binance, see Binance is coming here. So on click of that, we got the data. Now what we need to do is we need to set the data in active crypto. So we'll just set it in here like coin. Okay, we have set it in active crypto. Now active crypto we can use in here, inside here. So first thing is H2. Now in H2 you see here name is there, so we can just show the name dot name. Okay, then we can show the, in p tag we can show the rank, then we can show the price, USD, and we can show the maybe this symbol. Okay, we'll show the symbol in the separate p tag. Symbol equal to strong tag I'll use. Okay, so on click of that, it will show the active crypto name, and active crypto, this all things will be available only when active crypto is available, right? So that's why I'll add another check in here, like if active crypto is there, then only this thing will be visible. Basically if active crypto is there, then only these things will be visible, otherwise it won't be. So if you see, so it is like that. Now if I click on it, so that things are visible, but it is black, right? That's why it is not showing up. So I'll just add simple this thing, color equal to, so that's it. So now it is, so I have added the color as white, so it is visible. So when I click on anything, so it is getting updated in here, right? Now along with this, what we need to do is we need to fetch the data for this particular thing by using this API and show the data in a list manner in here. Okay, so what we'll do is I'll write another method in here to get the data. So whenever handle active crypto is happening, we need to get the data. So const another this one I'll put. Okay, so here, right, the API URL is not a dynamic, sorry, static URL, rather dynamic. So this thing will get changed, right, every time. So it is the symbol basically. So if I use XRP here, let's see what happens. Okay, so I think I need to small case it. Yes, so we need to small case it and put it, then only we'll get the value. So this particular URL is dynamic, so we have to create it every time. So how we can create it is like this: const details API URL equal to, like this we'll put, and this part will be dynamic part. So what we can put in here is coin dot symbol dot to lower case in JavaScript. So it will make it lowercase, and I'll just console log this guy. So if I just console log this guy, then it will show the details URL right in here. So I'll just check it out now. If I click on this, see this URL is being shown here. So if I click on this, the data is coming. Okay, BNB. Okay, it is not coming, I guess. Something is BTC. If we click on BTC, so what is coming? Okay, so this is the name basically. It is getting the name, I guess. Okay, let me put the name then. Okay, now if I click on it, okay, something is happening. Assets history, like this it is happening. Now if I click on Bitcoin, assets Bitcoin history. Okay, for Bitcoin it is coming. For Ethereum it is coming. Okay, cool. So our API URL construction is cool. We have created the API URL now. Now we need to fetch the data for this URL, and we need to show it. So how can we fetch it? So in order to fetch it, what we need to do is, again we need to use this Axios API. So we will use it, axios dot get, okay, and the URL, and then inside then we'll use this thing, and I'll use a console.log, and this will be stored, the value will be stored in response, and that response I'll just console log. Okay, now if I click on Bitcoin, see data is coming like this. Inside data, inside data I have another data inside which the table is there. So we can just show dot data. Okay. Click on this, then this array is found. So inside array we have this date, price USD, and time we have, right? So what you can do is we can just show it in here in a good manner. So in order to do that, we need to first store this data somewhere. So we already have active crypto. So what we can do is inside active crypto only we can put this data. So how can we put this data? First we need to copy that active crypto part. So we'll just do like this, temp data, something like that, active crypto, and then what we'll do is we'll just response like this we'll put, and table will create. Table is a new object I'm creating, inside which we'll keep all the data of that. So this data we're keeping inside that, and we'll just update the active crypto by using temp data. So I'll just use set active crypto. Inside that I'll pass temp data. That's all. So if I do that, what will happen is it will have the table data. So this table we need to show in here. So in order to show that, I'll just use a div. So inside which I will I'll just or we can have a unordered list. Basically I'll have a unordered list inside which I'll keep like active crypto dot table and active crypto dot table dot length greater than 0. So if it is greater than 0, then only we'll be showing that data. Then only I'll show list tag. Inside that I'll put three things, basically price USD, time and date. So okay, so I have to use the mapping thing. So active crypto dot table dot map. Inside that only I'll put li tag, and here we'll use these things, price USD, date and price USD. I'll just copy this thing. So inside which I'll just destructure that and time. These three things we have: date, price USD and time. So we'll just show it like this. I'll just show date and price, that's all. Like this will show. Okay, so it is showing something. Okay, so as this particular operator is a valid operator in JavaScript, that's why it was giving error. That's why I wrapped it around a string basically. So now I'm showing it, okay, whenever this data is available. So we'll just check it, what happens. If I click on Bitcoin, see, it takes some time, and after that it updates this. Okay, it updates this, or it updates the data basically, simply. Okay, now another thing that is happening, if you see, so whenever we are doing that, right, so active crypto is getting updated in here. Okay, so active crypto is getting deleted or something like that. So that's why what we can do is we can keep another table. For that table only we can keep another particular this thing, data basically, or we can keep like in active crypto only we can assign this particular table data. So if we do like that, so temp data dot table equal to like that, if we do, and if I click on it, so the data is not updating because this active crypto, even if it is there, then it is not updating here because it is just a reference, right? So that's why I'll do it again. Okay, it is again updating that part basically, active crypto dot table. If I go in the components part, so if you see, so all the table is getting updated in here, but the previous value is getting deleted. So we can do something about that. So we have this coin here, right? So we can just use this coin only. So we can just use this coin because that coin is the active data, right? So we can use that, and if I click on it, then it is fine, because the problem here was this active crypto is a state, and directly you cannot destructure a state like this and use it as a new variable, right? So the moment you reference it like that, so what happens is this particular thing will override that. So that's why I'm using this coin in order to create the temp data. Okay, now it is working perfect. Now here one warning is there that each child in a list should have a unique key property. So in order to do that, what you need to do is, as these two things are in loops, so we'll just give some key in here. So key will be just the coin the coin symbol is a unique thing, right? Coin dot symbol. So we'll just use this as a unique thing, and here the date is a unique thing, so we can keep date as a unique thing. So if we do that and if we reload, if I click on it, see it is updating. Then again if I click on something else, there is no data, that's why not updating. No data, that's why no update in here, so it is empty. Ethereum, if I go, then again it is updating. Cardano, if I go, it is updating. If I go for XRP, it is updating, like that. So this is how we can use separate APIs to create separate UIs. As you can see, we have created an UI where first thing what I'm doing is I'm using use effect to get the list of this particular thing. Then on click of each items, I am using this active crypto, which is getting set in here, and the details API is being called, and from that details API I'm getting data, which data I'm updating in the active crypto only, and that data is being shown in here. So by using this example, right, I think you can be able to do any kind of things in React using any APIs or datas. So that's it, basically that's it. You can do anything using React and APIs, because you know most of the React concepts like states, hooks, and API callings. So I think that was it. To just sum it up, what we have learned in this particular session is, first thing is we have learned about state. So by using use state, we can create states for functional components. Second thing is we have learned about use effect. By using use effect, we can replicate the same behavior of lifecycle methods in functional components. Third thing is we have learned how we can do API calls by using Axios in a React functional component or any kind of components. Fourth thing is what we have learned in cryptocurrency list is how can we use effect in order to replicate the component did mount lifecycle method in here and call an API at the start. Then we have learned how in a same page we can keep two kinds of components and we can call APIs on an event. On click of some events, we can call APIs and get data and re-render the UI. So also we have learned about refs. So by using ref, we can, I think ref we have used here in payment page, I guess. Yes. So by using ref, we can also use inputs. And already we have learned in our third day wala session that how we can use states in order to control the input components. Now, when we use any states to control input components or handle input components, then that thing is called controlled component because the whole thing is controlled via state. But when you use refs, right, then the input is not at all controlled by us. Rather, when a button is clicked and when something is completing, then only we are getting the data by using input ref, right? So that's why it is a uncontrolled component. So that is two different aspects of controlled and uncontrolled components. Okay, so those are the things we have learned, and by that I think most of the things we have already learned. One thing is left, like one thing we have learned also, this custom hooks, which is very less used, but you need to know the syntax, that's why. So custom hooks are created by using two core hooks that are use state and use effect, in which we can just keep common methodologies and all. So here we are keeping just a fetch methodology right there. So that was it from my side. I think with this we have learned most components and most React knowledges. Now we can do different assignments by using React, and now we are good to go with React. Okay, and you can follow the document here, because in this document I have provided all the details that are required for interview preparation. So please follow this document as well as practice this. Okay, thank you very much.